Hello, my little ninjas. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News, and welcome to your Wake and Bake News at 7 p.m. I'm your host, Moxie, and I have many videos for you this evening, at least some, including an update on the Satan shoes. I know you guys are very, very interested in the Satan shoes, so I'm going to stay on that story no matter what. And we have a special guest this evening, which is partially why we're late. We're trying to line up the video and get it just right for the special guest and everything. Sorry I'm late, free man. I know what time it is. Okay, so where were we? Let's see. I have videos. I have a bong hit ready. That does sound pretty good, doesn't it? I am definitely ready for a bong hit. How about you, boys and girls? Would you like to share a nice bong hit with Moxie? Because Moxie wants to share one with you. So, if you would, simply follow me and do exactly as you see. So I wanted to talk about I have some really good videos as far as the vaccine passport and security up on Capitol Hill. I have a Kennedy video about legalization of cannabis, which is always nice. And we have a special guest who's going to talk about what happened when he got his second vaccine shot. And what else do we have? Oh, I have so many things. I have so much stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, okay. So the guy who charged the fence on the at the Capitol or whatever, he supposedly. Are you talking to me? He supposedly ran into a fence and a couple of security guards and blah blah blah. I guess you call them Capitol Hill police. They're basically security guards. And they're talking about his writings on. He said that he has a big problem with the FBI. He has a big problem. He said the number one enemy of black people is the U.S. government. Again, if we can get beyond the division and recognize the common enemy, it's not the number one enemy of black people. This government is the number one enemy of every single working class person or person living in poverty. They hate you. They despise you. They are the number one enemy of the people. I've told you this again and again. The only real threat to your personal freedom, it's not Iran, it's not China, it's not Russia, it's the U.S. government and their ever-expanding police state. So this guy seems to have a pretty good point, in my opinion. At least has a similar point to what I've been making for years now, is that, the real enemy is within. And if we could come together, we could conquer that enemy, no problem. Boyko, were you there? Do you know what happened? Have you ever heard of a false flag? I also have a video of the senator talking about how the fencing is not working, which means that they need more security, no doubt about it. I mean, if you're listening to what he's saying, it sounds like, oh, the fencing's not working. We need, he's talking about how the job that, fencing being in place forever, it's not working, the fencing's already there, da-da-da. So which means we have other security issues, which means more billions spent on fucking politicians' security. Fucking piece of shit people who call themselves public servants who call themselves representatives of the people. Does anybody think anybody in Congress is representing them? Because I think you should check your medication for sure. Okay. So, anyway. I thought that was very telling. You know, it's this kind of thing that I've said again and again and again. At least that's what they're saying about this guy. Is that he said the number one enemy of black people is the government. And again, as I've said over and over, the number one enemy, the only real threat to your personal freedom, the only real threat to your personal freedom is the U.S. government. You know, because and this is what I'm saying about recognizing the common enemy and us coming together to defeat the common enemy. You know, what they want, what these fucking cunts in Congress want, and the White House want, is for us to recognize Russia or China as the common enemy, as the big threat to the United States. Or they'd really prefer that you recognize Iran. All right, if you recognize what a threat to the United States Iran is, then we can have an excuse to go to war with Iran, and that will start our war with China and Russia. Fuck yeah! And then we'll have war forever! Who doesn't think that's what the Pentagon wants? Is there anybody here, raise a show of hands, is there anybody here who thinks that is not what the Pentagon wants? Is giant war forever based on lies? Is there anybody? This is a call-in show, people. If you have an opinion, what is it? It's Boyko. Then call, and we'd be happy to have a discussion about it. Otherwise, you know, yes, supposedly. I don't trust a fucking thing this media says. I don't trust a fucking thing this government says. So yes, supposedly he ran into these people and ran into the fencing. Okay, supposedly. I'm pretty sure of that. So all I'm saying is I don't trust the government. And if you trust the government, I don't know what planet you're living on. If you trust this news media, I don't know what planet you're living on. But to see somebody saying similar things to what I say, which is, you know, the only real threat to our personal freedom, you know, to United States citizens' personal freedom, the only singular, no other real threat to your freedom is the United States government and its ever-expanding police state, which they just fund more and more and more and more. You know, you know, they, again, on the drug war, they've drugged their feet. I mean, they just tooth and nail. They hung on to the drug war. No, we can't let it go. Think about the prison industrial complex. Think about all the cops that will get fired if we end the drug war and cut fucking crime by 80% by ending the drug war. Think about all the cops that would be fired. Does this work? Again, it's a call-in show, people. What are we going to do with all those fucking cunt cops that would get fired? Imagine 50% of the police being unemployed. We got heavily armed, angry, suffering from PTSD, piece of shit cops who used to think they'd get away with anything, and now they're fucking major substance abusers who sit around drinking all day, right? That's going to be a problem. And as the police are now, as I've said again and again and again, the ever-expanding police state. It just gets bigger and bigger, you know. And we say, oh, we're going to cut the budget. Yeah, what a bunch of bullshit. You're going to cut the budget by 5%. They're going to go spend $600 million on a new police facility in Seattle. 600. Oh, we're going to cut the budget by 5%. Fuck you. Okay? This is bullshit. The police aren't doing their jobs. They're the only threat there is to us. And then we're supposed to believe this bullshit coming out of the police state media, coming out of the police state government. I don't know how anybody believes a single word they say. Satan's shoes? Are you fucking kidding me? I do have a video on Satan's shoes. Most of the videos I look for are so we can have an understanding about what they're saying about vaccine passports, about what it is that happened today, about, whatever the topic of discussion is, legalization, the ever-expanding police state. I want to be clear, all of this discussion isn't about me. Okay, this is about you and the future, what you're leaving for your children, what we are leaving for the people coming behind us. You want to leave a 22nd century infrastructure project to the millennials? Are you fucking serious? Hello, caller.
Hey, Mark. How's it going?
Okay, how about you?
Well, do you know what I think what's going on, Mark? I think it's a lot of pork corruption going on.
Oh, yeah, that's nothing new. I mean, that's nothing new.
And let me explain what I mean with that, though. For background, though, back in the day, I used to do contract work for a construction company.
You used to do what?
And I see a lot of paperwork, contract work.
Okay.
Company. So I saw a lot of documents regarding how much these people get paid and how much they charge. A lot of the people that work in construction companies are unionized. This is really like they were paying you more than a guy with a bachelor's degree. And this is what they mean about trade skills pays better than going to college, which might be true though. But a lot of the things, I feel like, especially in Seattle, are way inflated though.
Are what?
Are way inflated.
I think that's happening around the world. I'm not sure, but it seems like everything is about making a penny. It's not about having a fair price. It's not about, it's all about stockholders and, if we can squeeze another penny out of this. It's not even about producing a good product anymore. It's just about how can we cut the price of this so we can make more money. Because that's all that matters is making money in the 21st century.
And I feel like, especially in Seattle, they put, like, the government, the city council, or whoever's in charge of the government of Seattle, they put a lot of red tape that you really have to contract people to go around the red tape. Because if you take out the red tape and simplify as much as possible the permits, the zoning laws, and everything like that, you will save a lot of money. And you don't have to pay $600 million for a new police station, dude.
If you legalize drugs, you don't have to pay $600 million for a new police department, dude.
Well, I mean, that's true, though. But my point, I'm talking about, like, why do we have to pay $600 million for, like, a police station in Seattle where you can retrofit an old building? And I mean, I've seen wonderful architectural modifications of old warehouses and old buildings.
Sure.
And they make it work wonderful. So you don't have to do anything from scratch. You just have to get things from to the bare minimum and then just build from that. I mean, for example, the Trump Hotel in D.C., it used to be an old postal office.
Yeah.
Trump got it from scratch.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to build anything from the bottom up. He just got it to the point that it was allowed. And I'm pretty sure he saved a lot of money. Obviously, he has to be extremely careful, though, because first of all, he was the president. It was the president's company, and second of all, it was a historic building, though. But if you go to a building that is not considered, quote-unquote, historic, national historic, though, and you got it from the bare bones, and then you build it inside of that, you save a lot of money, though. It's just the pork corruption.
Yeah, it seems that there's a lot of fingers in the till that are getting a profit. So they're not about to try and cut the price of it or talk about postponing it because there's just so many people that are going to go, oh yeah, we're going to make money off of it. And I bet you they make money off of it even if they do postpone it for years and years and years. I bet those people still make money, a lot of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about it though. I mean, a lot of these constructions that they go through what is called the bond issuing. So they're issuing bonds, which is basically debt, obviously people, financial institutions are going to be making money out of that. Um, it's going to go to pension. I mean, everyone hits their 20s now. And they do that in purpose though because they want to spend money, money, money. And I'm pretty sure that $600 million is going to come from the CARES Act, from the stimulus fund.
I imagine at least part of it's going to come from that. A lot of police departments are getting, a lot of places are getting. I mean, even a lot of like celebrities and politicians, they're getting all these millions of dollars for security. So I imagine that security is going to be a big part of the so-called, Save America. What's his plan? Rebuild America, whatever his fucking stupid name
Build back
is.
better.
What is it?
Build back better.
Build? I didn't know that was it. I thought it had American.
Apparently he used it in his campaign.
Yeah. And yeah, I heard, Queen Bee, I heard that the governor forbids COVID-19 passports for all businesses in Florida. I did hear that this afternoon. And I think that that's probably a really good thing. I think that's, you know what, I think that's going to generate a lot more tourism for Florida. So,
which is working. Just look at the spring break chaos that happened a few weeks ago.
yeah.
I mean that, I'm not saying that what happened, like all the emergency curfew and stuff, because there were so many people in this. But if you think about it, it was good though. It was good because people were saying at least Florida is getting their stuff together, and people are moving to Florida instead of going to Mexico or I don't know, whatever other destinations. But still, like, it just shows you, like, Florida is taking the lead on that stuff, which is good. I'm glad that Florida is taking the lead. And we don't even have to go to Cancun or Cabo for vacation. We can go to Miami Beach.
Like I said, I think it'll be really good for tourism, and I think that not just that. I have this real question whether or not the vaccine passport violates the HIPAA laws. I have a question about whether or not it violates constitutional rights. I think the vaccine passport is probably illegal on a lot of different levels.
Oh, absolutely, though. But you know what's going to happen, though? Nobody's going to bet up. Everyone's going to turn a blind eye on it. And then if somebody tries to sue using that argument, yeah, they might succeed, though. But it's going to take months or even years to go through the whole process, the court system. Because remember, with all the rioting and all the things that is going on because of COVID, it's jamming the court system big time. So it's going to take a while to do that, to actually go to the court and that being clarified in the courts.
Yeah.
Because even the legislatures or the federal government trying to do like the passport thing, it's going to be illegal though. Because a Supreme Court might turn it down against freedom of movement or like.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's lawsuits and headed already before they even have the thing, and I think that the Supreme Court. I don't know. Again, I can't trust anything in the government anymore. I can't trust anything in the media anymore. So. I don't know, I don't know that the Supreme Court is hopefully going to stand up for rights or freedom or anything, so.
That's the other thing, though. I feel like I'm absolutely right with you. This whole Trump phenomenon that happened 5 years ago, though, it really shed, whatever you like the guy or not, though, which is totally separate from what I'm trying to say, is it really showed you how these people will behave. And how they try to form a narrative to be on chaos or to be in fear or something, though.
Yeah.
And
Russia. Russia. We heard that for like 3 years, and then we find out, there's no evidence that Russia interfered in the elections. Does the media apologize for lying to us for 3 years? No. Do they admit that they made a mistake about lying to us for 3 years? No. That's their job. They know that's their job, so why would they apologize for completely misinforming everyone in the world that they can possibly get to listen to them? Why would we apologize for something like that?
That's kind of unfortunate, though, because, I don't want to admit it, though, but I think Trump was right when it comes to the quote-unquote fake news.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not. Look. Trump is not somebody that I'm going to side with on anything. So I mean, it's not
I mean,
true.
yeah,
That's not true either.
I'm
I
not
don't
talking
think that
about.
that's true either. But because I mean, there's a couple of quotes from Trump that I really like. When George Stephanopoulos was asking Donald Trump if he thinks that Putin is a killer, and Donald Trump looked at him and said, "There's lots of killers." I said, "What? You think the United States is so innocent?" So there's certain things like that's extremely true. I mean, so it's not that I completely disagree with everything that he says. It's just it's really hard to, think of him in any kind of positive light, honestly. Hey, Manny, I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
Okay, it's good to hear from you. So I hope we
no, yeah,
talk.
absolutely. Though.
What's that?
I'm working, so I'm listening to your show while working. So I'll be listening to your videos and your comments.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon. I hope.
All right, back to you
Okay, see you.
later.
That's our buddy Manny. He used to live in Seattle. I believe he's living on Eastern Washington now, which there's a lot of people who live in Eastern Washington. I've never spent much time there, but it looks like pretty chill place. I imagine there's a lot of marijuana farms over in Eastern Washington. A lot, which means I mean, the people who grow the weed. I'm not sure, honestly, but I would think they would do a lot of product testing, but I'm not sure because it seems like the people who grow the weed, not the gardeners themselves, but the people who put out the money for the everything you need on a farm. Those people seem to be only about money a lot of the time. They don't care how the weed's grown, just as long as it gets the amount of money they want out of it. I think a lot of them probably don't even use cannabis, would be my guess. And I would think one of the requirements for getting into the cannabis business is that you should have to be a long time user of cannabis. But I think the seed breeders, the cannabis breeders that make these hybrid strains, I think the seed breeders are some of the coolest people I've ever met. And partially, I'm pretty sure I would bet on the fact partially the reason they're so cool is because they're constantly product testing, right? They're like, oh, we got this new strain that we invented, wedding cake. And then you go, oh, it's not quite right. We're going to have to breed a little bit more. We have to find just the right flavors that we're looking for. So they do a lot of product testing constantly, And basically, they'll grow 20 plants and then they'll test the product from each of the plants and they'll take clones of each of the plants and they'll mark each of the testing, and then they'll go, oh, these plants have the best flavor, and then they'll take those plants, the clones from those plants, and they'll make seeds out of them. And then that's how they find that's how they invent stuff like banana runts and strawberry banana and lemon pie. Oh, by the way, I got a package of seeds today. And I also sent a t-shirt and a hat and some nutrients. So I'm going to do an unboxing for that in the next couple days. It's from Nukehead Seeds. And they were very generous. They sent I think 8 different strains. So that should be fun to do that. To do the unboxing. I haven't actually opened I opened it to see what it was, to make sure I knew what it was, and now it was like a box, right? And Craig's like, there's a box here for you with your name on it. There's a box here with your name on it. I'm like, okay, that's probably seeds. And he goes, it's a pretty big box for seeds. I'm like, oh, they're sending nutrients too. And a t-shirt, and a hat, and a big sticker. Stoners love stickers. I keep trying to tell, all the breeders, stoners love stickers. You gotta have stickers. I don't know why stoners love stickers so much. It's probably because, you can say like Kilroy was here, or funny stuff. I remember I had some stickers that said "Wash your ass." And or was it must wash your ass or something? You know how they says you have to wash your hands. Everyone employed here must wash their hands before they leave. It's right over the sink or right on the back of the bathroom door. It's like everybody's got to wash their hands, right? So I had stickers that say "Wash your ass," and I would put them right above the sink, right by where the wash your hands thing was. Wash your ass. I always thought that was pretty funny. I'm a funny guy. Manny. So, I wonder, let's see. I'm afraid we lost Jackie Cat too, which would be really sad because everybody loved Jackie Cat. I knew I should have not made her a moderator. Too much pressure. Which I don't think she actually moderated anybody. I never saw anything removed or anything by her, and nobody banned. But it would be terrible loss if we lost Jackie Cat. So I guess I got to stop making people moderators or something. Anybody want to be a moderator? Huh? Let's see. I have this video from Kennedy. Which video you want to see? Vaccine passport, Kennedy legalize, Satan shoes. You guys tell me. Hello, caller.
Hey, Mike, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing good. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's funny that you mentioned how growers choose these strains to determine which ones they're going to clone, especially like for their summer. Like which plants have the best flowers. They'll grow them in a greenhouse, and then they'll take those clones and put them outside. So today I harvested like 15 or 20 kind of individual strains of A buds that, including about 5 or 6 new strains that I hadn't seen before.
Nice.
But they were really small batches. Like normally, like we'll process, meaning like 6 people will process like 20 totes of product. Just 20 totes of product, like one strain, say, right, a greenhouse, part of a greenhouse. But today it was just one box of this, one box of that, one box of this. So I got to see a lot of flowers today. It's kind of interesting.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Too bad you didn't get to taste a lot of flowers today.
Yeah, that is kind of lame. When there's this kind of misconception that people who work at the cannabis farm get to taste all of these products, and in fact they don't, because it's strictly regulated.
Well, that's the retail places. I guarantee you got to find a place where you can work with the seed people, because the people who do the seeds are fucking unbelievable cool, dude.
Yeah, I mean, and there's all kinds of things on the margins of people like sharing ideas and thoughts and stuff. So it's all cool. Whatever, it is what it is. But it is hard to remember all of the different strains. Like today, one of them was vanilla icing, and it didn't really smell like vanilla, and it looked kind of like wedding cake. But it was, there's subtle differences in the flowers, the way they look and their shapes, and whatever. It's an interesting plant. I like working around it all day, and that's what we did today. And on that note, on the cannabis note, there was a news brief from April 5th from NBCNewYork.com, which is a news channel. It says, New York Police Department says you can now smoke a joint in public. In the wake of Cuomo signing marijuana legalization into effect with legalization of possession in small amounts effect immediately, the police department has issued a memo noting that people can smoke marijuana in public anywhere. They can smoke a cigarette in public. Smoking marijuana on sidewalks or front stoops is no longer, quote, basis for approach, stop, summons, arrest, or search. Wow, that's cool.
That's
so
awesome.
The memo said, the city bans smoking in parks and beaches, but there's no marijuana smoking allowed there either. But often, I'm a cigarette smoker, and often people will smoke in parks, so I assume
Well,
people will smoke cannabis in parks as well.
you have to ban smoking on the beach because I remember
Cigarette butts.
I was eating a bunch of mushrooms. I was just tripping on mushrooms one day. We were at the beach,
no.
and I was laying on my towel, and I was playing with the sand, and all of a sudden I started to realize there was fucking cigarette butts just everywhere, and I was like, I felt like I'm tripping on mushrooms, and I felt like I was sitting in a giant ashtray. It was really weird. Yeah.
So I've like rolled my own cigarettes for 25 years or more. There's a lot of reasons why tobacco is not a good thing, but one of the benefits of rolling the cigarette is that when you throw it on the ground, it just becomes dirt, basically, pretty quickly. It breaks down, and I use unbleached paper and whatever decent tobacco, so it just breaks down like leaves do, basically, when I throw it on the ground, and so I don't. And the thing with the filters, they say that it decreases the particulates that go into your lungs, but in fact, a lot of them are fiberglass. And when you suck real hard on a fiberglass tube all the time, you're going to be sucking little pieces of fiberglass into your lungs as well.
You would think, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I thought that was good news from New York, that, and that's the city is so dense, right? Like, block by block by block by block, thousands and thousands and thousands of people, so that it's just reasonable, and it seems like you can indulge now in New York City. Good news.
I wonder if there's places that have smoking indoors. Do you think there is? Like at the casinos, you can smoke it at all the casinos. So.
Well, I don't know if the casinos are regulated by the state of New York, though. That's Indian land, and they might have different land laws on the reservation than the state government does. Although, that's the way it is around here. Of course, you go to the casino and you can smoke. It's one of the only places in Washington State you can smoke.
Yeah.
And but of course, you cannot smoke cannabis any place where you can smoke tobacco in Washington State.
Yeah.
Again, these real nanny state control, acting like your mom, that our government here in Washington State is horrible that way.
Yeah.
And all of these other states are putting us to shame by getting rid of people, expunging people's records, allowing people to smoke in public and have smoking shops, they're pretty open, allowing people to possess more, product, and also allowing people to grow. All things that have not happened here, even though, the fucking world did not end in 2013 when we legalized cannabis, and they all know it, right? Mm-hmm. The world didn't end, but they just won't do anything about it. It's really pathetic, actually. Really,
it's disgusting. I mean, the people take a vow for freedom, basically. They protect your rights, and all they do is take away more and more of your freedom every single day.
Yeah, they take away your freedom, and they fill your brain with a lot of bullshit propaganda at the same time. Like, you were talking about COVID a little earlier, and I've talked about how CNN and ABC and the New York Times have only looked at this from one perspective. They're promoting this thing, right? The vaccine and the perception that lockdowns are necessary and all of this. So this was, there were two stories I found in CNN that were really interesting. One said, literally, it's the title, "You should think twice before laminating your vaccine card." Just kind of this innocuous statement that, when you get your vaccine card, you might want to laminate it. And in fact, Office Depot and Staples will laminate it for free for you, right?
Yeah.
But before they do it, you want to double check the information on your card before it's laminated, because then it's permanent. And then you're going to want to make a backup, put it on a hard drive, have a copy of it on your phone, right? So you have 2 or 3 different copies of it. And you need to know what to do if your card gets damaged or lost, because you're going to need this card. They're letting people know that this is like your Social Security card.
Yeah.
This is like your, this is like your library card, right?
Your
This
passport.
is like your voter
It's your
registration
passport.
card.
Yeah.
This is a thing that's attached to you.
Show me your papers.
Show me your papers, and this is the paper that you're going to be needing to show. And at this point, I'm wondering how long it's going to be before they ban interstate travel on buses, trains, and planes in the United States without presentation of a vaccine card. Or will there be check stops? Like when you drive to California, sometimes they check your car if you have fruit. Do you have any fruit before you go to the fruit fields of California? Let us know, right? And you're supposed to let them know, I've got oranges or grapefruits or something. Are they going to do the same thing where they're going to check points looking for people's vaccine cards if they're in a vehicle traveling across state lines? Because it sure seems like it's kind of going in this direction. Definitely for airplanes. You can't travel internationally without this vaccine. Well, you can't go to many countries without vaccines, period. But for domestic travel, what do you think about that? Do you see that going in this direction as well?
Yeah, you're not going to be able to go into the grocery store without a fucking vaccine passport, dude. You're going to have one of these vaccine passports. It's going to have to be on. It's not going to be good enough to have a vaccine card, okay? It's going to be, you have to have this. It has to be on your phone. It has to be scannable. Kennedy was talking today about the vaccine card. She said, this thing is the easiest thing in the world I've ever seen to fucking duplicate and forge. And so...
yeah. So in that CNN article, Mike, they said, and don't show your card on your social media account. And that's the first thing that went into my brain is like, fuck, if you need this ID or you need this little computer icon, why not just borrow somebody else's little computer icon thing or, put your name on it and show them that, and then you're good to go, right? Who's going to take the time to check your ID? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the reason that the cards aren't going to be good enough, that you have to have a QR code on your phone to be able to scan, because anybody can copy anybody's card and say that's them. But again, I think this is entirely against HIPAA laws. HIPAA laws forbid anyone from asking you, what kind of mental, kind of health you have. Why are you going to the doctor? What is it? It's basically like if you have a service animal, nobody's allowed to come up to you and say, why do you have a service animal? That's illegal. And it's under the HIPAA laws. And so I see this as a violation of that, and a violation of our constitutional rights. This is this thing. Show me your papers. It's that's not what America is supposed to be. So.
Yeah, well, whatever America is supposed to be, it's very fascist to demand papers. You're getting into totalitarian kind of area here, where you have to show papers for travel, especially, to travel from one place to another.
Yeah.
That's like what did happen in fascist Europe, and it's kind of sad to see it happening here under the auspices of we're all going to die if we don't get vaccinated. So the other story from CNN, and this is kind of hilarious, it said it's the United States' deadliest avalanche season in years. Experts claim COVID is partially to blame, right? So they're blaming COVID-19 on people dying in the mountains because we had a heavy snowpack and a wet snowpack and then hot, dry, wet. So the way the snow fell in the Sierra and in the Cascades this year and in the Rockies, it fell in a way it's real conducive to avalanches. The last time this happened was 15 years ago. But there wasn't COVID 15 years ago, right? So 36 people have died in U.S. avalanches, according to the Colorado Avalanche Information Center, tying the record set in 2008 and reached again in 2010. But a unique combination of climate and pandemic-related trends could see America break the record. It talks about the conditions, right? But then it said, the reason why COVID is to blame is because more people are going out into the snow this year than had gone out into the snow last year.
That's a load of bullshit.
So that's the reason why.
That's a load of bullshit.
But then they titled the article, "Experts say COVID is partially to blame."
COVID is partially to blame for everything, dude. Come on, keep up.
Well, I know, but it's like the front story. Like, so when you're scanning through the news site or you're scanning through the newspaper, right? It's like the story just jumps right out at you. COVID-19 responsible for increased death count in avalanches. And then when you read the story, it just says there were more people in the mountains this year than there were last year. Hence, there's more people causing avalanches in the backcountry. But that wasn't COVID that kept the people out of the woods last year. That was the lockdowns of the government responding to COVID. And so to say that COVID-19 did this, it's no, government lockdowns kept people out of the woods and created a lot of anxiety this year, so people wanted to go out of the woods. It's just the way that it's phrased, because they didn't have to do the lockdown. They could have responded to this disease in a lot of different ways than they did. They could have just separated the old people, separated the people who were sick. If you're over 65, take a year off, right? That doesn't mean everybody in the economy stops and you lock the whole fucking economy down. They did not have to do that. So that is what caused more. You see what I'm saying? It's just false. It's false labeling. Like, it's false narrative.
I agree. I mean, this is one of the things that I keep saying is, these people are lying to us. I mean, I don't see the threat from this thing. I watch people all summer go and, do protest without mask and all these other things. And, if I think if there was any kind of a super spreader event there, that the media would have hyped it up beyond everything. Oh, we went to the protest and we got sick. You didn't hear that at all.
Yeah.
So.
No. So what the lockdown did cause is it caused a mind fuck.
Yeah.
So this is an article from the Daily Mail in the last 2 days. It says millions of anxiety-ridden Americans are suffering from re-entry fear, leaving them terrified of social interaction as post-pandemic mental health crisis looms. And this is a study from the American Psychological Association that says 50% of people surveyed recently reported experiencing this condition. According to a recent report from the APA, nearly 50% of Americans reported suffering from the phenomenon known as re-entry fear. And then it's a pretty long article. It talks about like the degrees of people's fear. Like some people won't leave their room. Some people won't leave their apartment. Some people won't leave their yard or their complex.
Right. And you guys realize that from the very beginning of this, the one thing that I've said more than anything else is don't buy into the hyped up fear, because that's what they want most of all, is you to be afraid. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the conditioning works for a lot of people. Again, people who are reading these stories that like COVID is causing avalanche deaths this year.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So that's in the back of their fucking head because they believe it. They don't even read it and understand that it doesn't even say that. So this one excerpt from the Daily Mail says, but some cases of this phenomena are more extreme. A psychiatrist who noticed the phenomenon in his Miami practice and dubbed it cave syndrome. Quote, the people who have the most anxiety disorders in my practice are the worst affected. They can't even get out, says Bregman, who has been studying the 1918 influenza pandemic's psychological impact on the world. After that lockdown in 1918, roughly 40% of the population would be diagnosed with what we now call PTSD, said Bergman. It took 10 years for the population to get out of this. All right. Now, I don't know. That was more dramatic, the Spanish flu, because it killed healthy people. Like, literally, there'd be healthy people at work one day, and then they'd be dead, like 6 hours later.
Yeah.
And it affected people who were working-age people and children, whereas this particular virus or whatever tends to affect people who are obese, who have diabetes, who have, late-stage cancer, people who are elderly, people who are, those people. But anyway, so I'm sure that was super fucking traumatic. But he said that the same phenomena is happening. And the last thing he said was, as what people are going to start doing, when you have PTSD and you have anxiety and you have different neuroses and you're freaked out about the world, and you go to a psychiatrist. In the United States, if you go to a psychiatrist, 8 or 9 times out of the 10 times, right? The shrink is just going to give you medicine to make you like normal, feel normal,
Yeah.
and not feel anxiety. So it's going to just cause many, they said 40 or 50% of the population, right, out of our 350 million people. How many people this year are going to get strung out on fucking pharmaceutical drugs, right, to deal with their minor issues that they have because they're not reading critically or they're feeling cognitive dissonance or whatever. These people are going to be taking tons of drugs, and not only is Big Pharma going to make money from vaccines, but by scaring the shit out of 8 out of 10 people in this country, they're also creating a lot of clients who are going to be buying drugs from the pharmaceutical industry. Just another aspect to it.
Yeah. I gotta go, Chris. I'm glad to hear from you. I have some seeds for you, so remind me when I
cool.
see you next, okay?
Yeah, absolutely, Mike.
All right.
It's good talking to you. And remember, drug overdoses increased. 88,000 people died of opioid drug overdoses last year. Increased like 30% or something.
Right.
Because of the lockdowns.
Yeah.
Just everyone remember that. And thanks for your time, Mike. And I hope the other calls are awesome. I'm sure they will be, and I look forward to listening.
Okay, I look forward to seeing or talking to you soon.
Yeah, bye, Mike. Peace.
Okay, bye. Okay, so I have a Kennedy clip here about the legalization of cannabis. I want to mention one thing first, okay? Chris was talking about all the pharmaceutical drugs, and I'd like to talk to people about this. So if you want to think about it for a minute, one of the things I've noticed just recently is that this time of year, February, March, April, May, those months are considered allergy season, right? Pollen is in the air everywhere. And what I've noticed is over the last couple of weeks is that there's no Claritin advertisements, there's no allergy advertisements, and I find that very strange because I'm sure that the Claritin business, the allergy business makes the pharmaceutical companies billions of dollars. So why all of a sudden is there no allergy advertisements? Anybody? I'd really love to hear some thoughts on that. Kennedy clip on the legalization of cannabis. I will be right back. I got to heat up my tea.
Champions of freedom, rejoice! You have an unusual ally in your midst, Chuckles McGillicuddy. That's right. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has declared a new battle against the war on drugs. He's all in on decriminalizing and possibly legalizing cannabis at the federal level. This is a nice shift. Newbie Politico Joe Biden, he might come on board. He just needs some time to study the issue. Chuck? Oh, Chuck said, I thought he was going to talk on the camera. We will move forward. Biden said he's studying the issue. So I obviously want to give him a little time to study it. I want to make my arguments to him, as many other advocates will. But at some point, we're going to move forward, period. He needs a little time to study it? Jesus Christmas, the guy's been in office for 900 years. I know his POV on weed has shifted more than a rented Ferrari, but good Lord, man, come on board. 35 states plus D.C. have all some form of legal weed, from the medicinal to the full meal recreational deal, because, munchies. 67% of U.S. adults, according to Pew Research, feel it's time to legalize the damn thing because it's a plant. And people happen to enjoy this plant. Old people really love the greenhouse gift. Cannabis use among the 65 plus crowd has gone up 700% in the last 10 years. Old people love reefer. It's not just about freedom or enjoyment or basic logic. Marijuana prohibition has fueled a deadly drug war that has taken over 500,000 lives. Murderous cartels have exploded in the last 2 decades, and the top 2 cartels alone are worth $50 billion. They kill each other, cops, politicians, journalists, and especially innocent civilians who stand in between them and the ravenous U.S. market. The drug war has fueled the supply and done nothing to dampen demand. It has only compounded racial inequalities and hollowed out entire countries whose citizens are now seeking refuge in our great, if conflicted, country. Legal marijuana has already cut into cartel profits as legitimate growers from Arizona to Mississippi are engaging in rewarding and practical horticulture that could be a model for legalizing or, fine, decriminalizing other drugs as well. So go till those poppy fields, Grandma. In 2019, the cannabis industry employed 340,000 in plant handling with $13.6 billion in legal sales. That number projected to go up to $85 billion in the next 9 years, which will sock the Sinaloa and Jalisco cartels right in the shorts. President Biden doesn't need another minute to study this issue, because if he proceeds with prohibition, he will clearly fail. And that's the memo. Just last week, New York State legalized recreational marijuana. It's the 15th state to do so. How many more dominoes need to fall before Washington realizes the people want their reefer? Here to discuss, New York State Director of the Drug Policy Alliance, Melissa Moore. Welcome to the show, Melissa.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me what's happening in New York, and are we in the midst of a sea change?
I think we absolutely are. I mean, the way that New York legalized cannabis after many years of fighting to get this over the finish line legislatively, which is different. So many of the other states that have legalized so far in the country have done so through ballot initiatives. And I think if we had that opportunity here in New York, we would have legalized a long time ago. We know that the public is vastly supportive of legalization, and even the majority of Republicans in New York State support legalization as well. And I think in that regard, we really are, in some ways, what just moved in New York is a microcosm for what could happen now at the federal level in this country, where we know that actually the biggest loser within the last election cycle in November was the war on drugs, when we saw states like Montana and South Dakota move to legalize. And now we have New York moving as well. And I think we are absolutely in the middle of a sea change.
So let's talk about South Dakota a little bit, because voters there voted to legalize marijuana, and then the governor tried to rooster block it with the help of the attorney general. What's the status in that state?
I know that there are ongoing legal battles there. And, from our perspective, it's really important for the will of the people to actually be enacted. That's the entire purpose of having things like ballot initiatives, is to be able to move forward policy that is responsive to residents of the state. And so in this case, South Dakota residents said loudly, very clearly, that they wanted to move forward with adult use, and they should have the opportunity to be able to do so.
Yeah, they want more freedom. And people should be able to make their own choices and engage in consensual transactions. It's ludicrous to think that we're going to move backward on this issue because there are major ramifications for society, not just in terms of people doing what they want, but also in terms of criminal justice and what people get locked up for and how that affects their ability to get an education and to get basic employment after that. So is this just Governor Cuomo trying to do something to look cool? Because I know he's also talked about casinos coming to Times Square, which I wholeheartedly endorse, and also Lap Dance Thursday.
Honestly, this is something that was really moved by the bill sponsor, Senator Kruger, and the Majority Leader, Crystal Peoples-Stokes, as well as advocates for years and years who have gotten us to this moment in New York. What we got over the finish line here is really responsive to calls from all across the state for exactly as you said, making sure that we're providing restitution for the criminal justice harms that have done to people. The fact that we've had more than 800,000 arrests for low-level marijuana possession in New York State just in the last couple of decades, when it was supposedly decriminalized, really indicates the necessity of being able to move forward and at the same time provide restitution and comprehensive fixes for all of that harm that's been done in the past. And that's what we're calling for at the federal level, too. Advocates are saying the House should quickly reintroduce the MORE Act, which passed at the end of the last Congress.
Name for you.
And let's get this thing going.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Melissa Moore, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
You can probably buy most of the seeds that I have in Oregon dispensaries, I would think. I have some pretty standard breeders. Sweet Seeds, Fast Buds, Nuke Heads, Dutch Passion, Heavyweight Seeds. Barney's Farms, Seedsman. So you basically, I think you can probably get most of the seeds that I have there in Portland already. I'm pretty sure they sell seeds in a lot of the dispensaries. I don't know. Do you call them dispensaries now? I don't know what you call them. When that was medical, you call them dispensaries. I don't know what you call them now. Retail stores, recreational stores. Is that it? Maybe. For weed. I think that after that clip, we have to do a bong hit. So I'm just waiting for it to cool down a minute. I'm so glad. Last week, Kennedy was gone. They had some fucking little dweeb fat frat boy fucking trying to replace her. And those are some fucking shoes that no dweeb frat boy could ever fucking fill. So I was really glad to see her back this week. I was concerned that she might have got suspended or something for saying, I hope you're ready to get your freak on, or doing her little titty dance thing. So I'm glad to see her back. Hopefully she just got a nice week off. Did lots of bong hits. I think you can buy spores. I know you can buy them online. So I don't think that they're illegal to buy. I'm not sure. It's like the seeds. It's like the cannabis seeds. I'm told that it is not illegal to buy cannabis seeds because you can sell stuff. This is how they sell the CBD stuff, as long as it has 0.003 THC or less, right? So the seeds don't really have any THC at all. So it's from what I understand, it is legal to sell seeds online, have them shipped to your house. Hello, caller. But I'm not a lawyer. So what's up, G?
Nothing much, man. Joe from Pennsylvania here.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, I definitely think the vaccine passports are vaccine passport requirement is a violation of HIPAA laws. It's also a violation of the Fourth Amendment and every other basic freedom that we have as Americans in this country.
Yeah, I think it's a violation of the HIPAA laws, and I think it's a violation of constitutional rights also. So I agree. Yeah, I don't know what these people are thinking. I do want they're thinking. The ever expanding police state needs to expand a little more. That's what they're thinking.
Well, definitely, and I think that this is another in a long series of infractions on our rights that are incrementally implemented to break us down, make us accept all these sort of things as normal, and then eventually beat us down after the fact.
I think, look, they, like you said, they separate us divide us into the tiniest groups possible, and then it's easy to keep us, and then they make us, like I said, from the very beginning of this, don't buy into the hyped up fear, but then they make it so that now if your neighbor breathes on you at the store, they might kill you. So, yeah, they've got, and people buying into it, so wholeheartedly, I literally... I walk every day with the dogs. I'm walking down the street. Everybody crosses the fucking street now. If there's not people on the other side of the street, they cross the street. Or they walk out into the street and around you by like 10 feet. It is the weirdest shit, dude.
Yeah. Well, and it only took just about a year to completely change the mindset of the vast majority of the population. So, for the better part of a year, thankfully, in the area I live in Pennsylvania, I don't live in a large metropolitan area. Yeah. But I live in a smaller area, and there are people, the majority of people wear masks when they go around. And I think they're doing it just for, as a social convention. They just don't want to have to be bothered.
Yeah.
But I haven't been wearing a mask for the better part of a year.
Yeah.
The only time I wear a mask when I go into a grocery store, I don't wear a mask when I go into a grocery store. The only places I wear a mask is when I have to go into the state store, because Pennsylvania is, all the liquor stores are state-owned.
Yeah.
So they got security guards in there. So if I want to get a bottle of bourbon,
they got, dude, I mean, they got security guards here at the burger stand, right? Drive-in burgers type of stand. And if you, and they've been around in this community forever, like 50, 60 years. Craig used to eat them when he was a kid at school. They fucking do school meals and shit. So it's a very well-known burger stand, and they literally have guards standing. There'll be like 20 deep lines there, some 20-person deep lines sometimes. They have guards standing there, and if you're not wearing a mask, they tell you have to put a mask on, and will make you either leave or go back to your car and get a mask, one or the other. Right. That's at a burger stand.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's ultimately where the vaccine passport is going to end up going, because it's going to start big. They're going to say, well, it's only for like air travel.
Right.
It's for, major venues. If you want to go to a concert, if you want to go see a sporting event.
Which is fucking bullshit, because I want to go see live music more than anything, and I'm not about to get stuck with their fucking whatever concoction it is.
Right. But what I'm saying is that's how they're selling it right now. But eventually it's going to get to the point where they're going to keep dialing it down more and more, where if you want to go to the grocery store and buy groceries, you're going to have this vaccine passport. So like I said, not only is it a violation of HIPAA laws, because you're basically, if you're going to have your information on a phone where you just scan it when you walk in, you're giving your personal medical information to private companies, that can be compromised or do with whatever it is they want to do with it. It's just, we seem to be living in a really bizarre fucking reality right now.
It's this ever-expanding police state that I say every show. It's what it is. It's clearly. And there's only one fucking common enemy that we have. And it's not Russia, and it's not China, and it's not Iran. Those people really don't want to do war with us at all. It costs them way too much money.
Well, no, I think it's part of a global agenda. It transcends, countries, governments, nation states. I personally think it's a very small group of people who are strategically engineering society to benefit themselves by using the governments to do it for them. They've subverted everything on every level.
Right.
Corporate government interests.
I look. It seems to be. That's what I'm saying. Is just about making money. If you're not making money, we're not going to talk to you about anything. We don't care. What it is that the problem with your kid is. Leave us alone. There's no money in that for us. And maybe it'd be a good photo op. So if it's a good photo op, maybe we'll do that. Do you see the Pete Buttigieg thing where he wanted to do a photo op about riding his bicycle to work?
I heard something about it, but I didn't actually see it.
Yeah, it's just bizarro, man. These people want to act like.
Well, wasn't it he had an SUV or something like that?
Yeah, it's like a security. It's like Secret Service SUV. He rode. They drove his bicycle out like 3 blocks from the White House or whatever, and then they pulled it out of this Secret Service SUV, and he jumped on it and rode 3 blocks with Secret Service surrounding him for his photo op.
Yeah. So I mean that's really no different than like people like Al Gore. Now don't get me wrong, I'm all for green energy, bringing us off. Fossil fuels and shit like that. I'm all for people being self-sufficient. But it's no different than Al Gore fucking fear-mongering about how the ice caps were going to melt, 10 years ago? I mean, we should all be underwater right now. But he was still fucking jetting around on his private jet.
Right.
and buying oceanfront property and trying to tell all of us that, well, no, the world's going to end and, the water levels are going to rise, but don't pay attention to what I'm doing over here.
Well, that's a much easier way to get a good buy on oceanfront property, right?
Well, no shit. Drive down the cost and buy up the fucking shit.
Yeah, I see these people as all evil. I just don't know. I don't see a single person that we can trust anything they say that's in the media or the government. And I'm really tired of it being that way. It's like I keep saying, I want police officers that we can look like they're the heroes, like they're the heroes that they want us to look like at them like. But when you see them, fucking berating a 5-year-old or pepper spraying a 9-year-old girl. 6 fucking giant cops can't handle a handcuffed 9-year-old girl. They got a pepper sprayer inches from the face. Those are not heroes. And I'm not about to say anything good about them.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike. You and I have butted heads a couple of times when I've called in. Mm-hmm. But I don't look at people as evil. I don't see them as good or evil. I see them as opportunists. And I don't think there's really necessarily evil people in positions of power. I think there's opportunists who are looking to exploit the masses for their own political and personal advantage.
And then calling themselves public servants the whole time and representatives, and you don't see that as evil. Is that right?
No.
Okay.
I see them being very deceptive. Evil is a very strong term. I see them as being very selfish and deceptive individuals who are willing to exploit and sell out their own constituents. I wouldn't necessarily call it evil. I would call it a major human defect.
I think you're trying to give them a break for some reason I don't begin to understand.
I'm not. No, I'm really not. No. I absolutely think they should be held to account 100% for all of their transgressions. But what I'm saying is, to call them evil is something serious.
I don't think I spend a lot of time calling them evil. I think what I call them is the only real threat to our personal freedom. That's the main point that I want to make. Not that they're evil, but they're not good people. But they are the only real threat to our personal freedom. And if we can recognize that, then we can come together to defeat a common enemy. And we don't even have to get over our divides. We can just see, hey, this is the real enemy, and move together to take it out. We can still have whatever our little petty shit is, but there's a giant enemy, and it's a threat to all of us. And that's what I'm saying. We could all recognize that. But I'm not going to give them a break on anything. It's like you're saying, yeah, they should be held accountable. But we have to recognize them again as the enemy, because one of the easiest ways to come together against an enemy is to recognize it as evil. So.
And to recognize the common enemy.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Because, this whole left-right paradigm, Republican, Democrat, all that, happy horse shit, that's irrelevant.
It's theater. It's fucking theater,
dude.
Dude.
Same club. And the only time they're ever bipartisan on anything is when they agree on how they're going to fuck us all over.
Right.
That's the only time they ever come to agreement is when they fuck us over.
Patriot Act,
that's what people
Iraq
need to
War, budget fucking for the Pentagon going up and up and up. The Pentagon, who can't beat fucking people living in mud huts and caves on $1 trillion budgets on 20 fucking years. Yeah, they just need their budget increased again and again and again and again. That should make sense to all of us, right?
Yeah.
That's who the common enemy is.
Mm-hmm. All right, Michael. Well, it was good talking to you.
How's things at the Lions Club?
The Elks.
Same thing. I'm trying to give you some cover. That's all.
That's all right. I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
I'm not going to get canceled anytime soon.
I might. No. So if I'm not here,
yeah,
that's because YouTube hates us. Go ahead.
Well, no, everything's going good with the Elks.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. It's always been.
We've actually been very, very, very busy the last couple of weeks.
That's really good. You know,
Yeah.
it was always like an easy place to be when I was a kid.
Oh, dude, it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Bunch of old guys who don't give a fuck about anything, man. It's my favorite fucking environment.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's chicks there too, or no?
On Saturday nights, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, Saturday nights, guys can bring the wives in. We're still a stag lodge.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Yep.
All right, Joe. It's good to hear from you.
Good to talk to you, Mike.
Call back anytime.
Sure will.
Okay. Stay cool, bro.
Take care, man.
Okay. So, and again, I want to discuss this thing about the Claritin, right? Or the allergy advertisements in particular, right? I've noticed this just in the past couple of weeks, but it's because I started feeling the effects of the pollen, and I was like, oh fuck, you know, the allergies are kicking in. But the first thing you think when you start to sneeze and then you sneeze again is, oh my god, I got the COVID. Right? I mean, because again, it's just been, you know, burned into our brains that we're all so susceptible to this horrible, horrible thing that's going to kill us all. But then I started thinking about how there's no advertisements on the TV for allergy medication during, you know, allergy season, right? And the allergy medication, the over-the-counter stuff's got to be billions and billions of dollars worth of you know, cash flow. So how can they all of a sudden not want us all to think every time we sneeze, oh, we got to go get some Claritin, the pollen's kicking in? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that's? And I think the reason it is, the reason that there's no allergy medication on television, no allergy medication commercials. I don't see it anywhere. I could be wrong. If you guys are seeing it, I'd love to know. But again, the reason that there's no allergy medication, I believe, is because, again, when you sneeze and then you sneeze again, they want you to go, oh, I got to get tested. Or if you're at work and you sneeze and then you sneeze again, they're like, oh, you better go get tested before you come back to work, right? And I'm not really buying into the test really either, so I'm not about to get tested. But I can see the complications here. And then on top of it, there's nobody reminding you, hey, it's probably just pollen in the air, like every year when you start to sneeze, right? I usually start in February. For whatever reason, it's April this year. Hopefully that'll make it a very short season. It rained last night. That always helps a little bit. There's nothing but sunshine in the forecast right now. I'd really like to see like 5 days of rain. Right now would be perfect. Get it out of the fucking way because the rain tends to knock down the pollen. But I hope that you guys see what I'm saying. And if I'm wrong, if you are seeing allergy medication commercials on television, you know, please let me know that too. But I'm not seeing any. And I'm sure that you guys know every year about this time, they hype up like every other commercial break. There's going to be a Claritin or some kind of allergy medication, you know, puff up your nose, whatever it is. But for this year, I don't remember last year. I don't remember if it was that way last year or not. But for this year, it's kind of blowing my mind. Because again, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry that makes massive amounts of money during the pollen season in particular. And now there's not any advertisements. It's like they don't want you, again, they don't want you to remember that that you have allergies, that you can take a Claritin and you stop sneezing. Why on earth could that possibly be? Anybody got anything on that? Telephone number's right there on the screen, 805-669-6397, 805-MOX-NEWS. So if you can help me out, I'd love to hear about it, because I don't understand where all the Claritin commercials went. I don't know. I mean, it was on the air all the time for the last 20 years, but all of a sudden, for whatever reason, nobody has allergies anymore, I guess. Or the allergy industry, the for-profit medicinal allergy industry, just doesn't want to make those billions anymore. really strange, don't you think, considering there's nothing they like more than money? I mean, they don't care what kind of side effects this gives you, that gives you. You know, oh yeah, you might have diarrhea, you might have bleeding of the stomach, you might fucking die from whatever medication it is. I'm not saying any medication in particular. What I'm saying is they say, oh, here's this medication that can help you, and then they have a list 1,000,000 miles long of all the things that it might do to you that could really, really, really fuck up your life. So, you know, I don't understand what's happening as far as this. I'd love to have your opinion. Again, what I think is that they don't want anybody to think, oh, I have an allergy. I forgot I had an allergy. Oh, the pollen. I forgot there's pollen in the air. I forgot that I take Sudafed when the pollen starts to kick in. You know, I'm. Why would that be? Anybody? Bueller? I'm just wondering. You know, maybe it's just me. Maybe nobody else gives a fuck about it, right? That could be entire. I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and play another video. I have a video here about vaccine passports. Let's see. So I'll play that one for you now, and that way we can all get caught up on what's being said about vaccine passports. It's a short clip. I'll kick it down, and I'll be right back in a sec. Okay?
And new this half hour, Mississippi's governor says he does not support the use of vaccine passports in his state. This comes days after Florida's governor signed an order banning those passports. Other states like New York have already started working on them, but Governor Tate Reeves says Americans need to do what's right for themselves and their families.
Well, I don't support vaccine passports. I don't think it's necessary, and I don't think it's a good thing to do in America.
Here in Washington State, Governor Jay Inslee says right now there is no vaccine passport as of yet, but a Redmond-based company, Lumedic, has developed one, and Providence Health is visitors and patients using their electronic vaccine passport system. White House said there will be no federal mandate that would require every American to get a vaccine credential. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom's government plans to test a vaccine passport over the next few weeks. Leaders say the certification will allow people to return to theaters, cinemas, and other events. You'll need to be vaccinated and have a recent negative coronavirus test or a positive test within the past 6 months. A comedy club in Liverpool, England, will be the first venue to try it out. Prime Minister Boris Johnson will talk about the details of that plan tomorrow.
I told you guys that was a short clip. I was trying to find out. Craig got his vaccine, and I'm not breaking any HIPAA laws because he wants to talk about it. He got his second shot on Friday, so he wants to tell you about his experience with the COVID-19 vaccine. I'm not sure if it was the Pfizer or which one it was, but are you ready for that? Okay, I'm going to mute this audio here. He's going to call in because we're having the audio issue with the other one. So he's going to call in, and you're going to go video, right? And he's going to go video, and you want me to go to that other... Wait. Okay, hold on. All right, so anybody on this Claritin, allergy medication thing? Because I don't get it. And it's bothering the fuck out of me. And I'd really like to have somebody else's opinion because, like I said, I just noticed it in the last 10 days or so, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed it. I don't know because it seems like a really big deal to me. It seems like, like I said, for the last 20 years, there's been these advertisements on TV, and now all of a sudden, they're not there. Hello?
Okay, let's make sure we're not echoey first.
Are we echoey?
I don't think so. Okay, so let's try going over to this one. Where's it at? Further down?
No. Up.
Up, that one right there.
There's Craig.
Hey.
It looks like
I'm in
it's...
front of the Wuhan lab too. See, I'm in Wuhan right now.
Nice.
Wuhan Institute behind me. See the security guard? You want to see more? I show you more. I had to come all the way to Wuhan to get my vaccine. See that guy? I bought him lunch. Actually, he bought me dinner. Look what he brought me.
China.
Taipei. Oh, it's blurred out. Whoa! Did you see that? It disappeared. We're getting censored from China. I got some General Tso's chicken from the guy behind me. That guy right there. He brought me dinner. And he even brought me a fork to eat it with. No chopsticks.
That's because that's what they eat with.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's see. Hold on. Let's see if I can bring in the Wuhan lab a little bit more. These guys are serious. Now, if I get shot, we'll know I wasn't supposed to talk about this. Oh, that guy's looking at the ground. He was told to watch his shoes, and what they told to do here, they keep doing it. They do not move. These guys, like that guy right back there, he has to stand like there. He's like, you know, the Queen's Guard, the Beefeater Guard. They don't move no matter what. I'm surprised they're letting me out here without my mask, but here's why. I got my passport, baby. I'm not going to show it close up, but look at this. Watch. The CDC bitches, I'm signed off.
Show them your sticker.
Oh, my sticker? You want to see my Pfizer sticker? Hold on, I'll show you my Pfizer sticker. Wham! There's two of them
No,
right there.
the sticker with the...
Oh, fuck, that's out in the car, dude. The little check vaccine.
Yeah.
I didn't put it
It's got a little check mark on it that says, I got my shot.
Yeah, like I've even grown out my Wuhan beard while I'm here, so I can be in the Kung Fu movies. Oh, I see. Your
Oriental accent is racist, so you know.
Hey, no matter which mouth you feed on the two-headed dragon, whoa! They're censoring me. It doesn't get the Wuhan flu. All I need now is some microphone testing in the place to be. Anyway, so here's what happened. A couple weeks back, I was getting close to going on my trip to Vegas. And I thought, you know, probably before I take that trip, it would really suck to get down there and get sick. Because how the fuck would I get home? They aren't going to let me on a plane. And I'm going to have to spend all kinds of money that I don't have, or that would have been spent losing at the craps table. No. I would have had to probably sweat it out, hope that I didn't get really sick, and then try and get home some other way, because there's no way I would have been able to fly. So I thought, you know what? The VA, which is where I get my health care, just opened it up to all vets. You don't have to be 55. God, I look pale. Am I that way? Maybe. Anyways, the VA said, if you want to get your vax, we have enough for all veterans in the VA healthcare system here in the Great Pacific Northwest. Come and get it. So I talked to somebody else that we both know, and he said he's getting his, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm getting mine too. Why not? I work around a lot of people, and I work around a lot of people that serve a lot of other people, because one of my big clients is a fast food company that shall remain nameless, and I do a lot of IT work, so I'm in and out of their stores on the regular, and it would really suck if I got sick from one of them, or I happen to pass on this virus to them, and then next thing you know, they have a fast food outbreak of 2021 care of this guy. That would suck, right? Right? You're looking at me like I'm crazy. Say something!
And you got the vaccine.
Right. So I did the first one, and I'm like, all right, I feel a little more safe for my trip to Vegas. You know, still had to do masking everywhere. There was no social distancing in Vegas whatsoever, though. I do have a piece of video that I could show you, but it wouldn't really matter. But maybe we'll show that later of how insane the Fremont Street was. Now, granted, it was the first couple days of March Madness, and there was people everywhere. And Fremont Street outdoors, you're not technically in the casinos. It's a street that's blocked off for the public. I mean, just for walking traffic. So you can have your mask off, you can drink, you can smoke, you can do whatever. A lot of reefer in there. You would like it down there.
I would.
Marijuana on every corner. Okay, so get to the vax. I felt I'm pretty safe. Went down there, didn't have any symptoms, didn't get sick, got back, and they said, you need to come back in on April 2nd and get your follow-up vaccine, and that's 3 weeks, so be here on time. So I get it down there at 10 o'clock in the morning, wasn't busy at all. They said, Team Pfizer or Team Moderna? I'm like, Team Pfizer. So I show them my little thing. They had me do a stupid little questionnaire. They give me this other crazy sheet that's like, okay, do you have any of these symptoms here? I'm like, no. And all I noted on the first one was from the first vaccine is injection site pain. It literally felt like someone just hit me so hard in the arm that felt like I had a bruise just as big as a softball. That was the first vax. And so the second one, it got a little sore the first day too, but God, by the time I got home on Friday night, and I talked to Wilco on the phone because he asked me how I was feeling, and I was out of it. I literally just went into this almost shivering comatose state where I don't even remember. I was talking to him, and I think old Dr. Whisper was on the phone there too. But dude, I was a mess. I just was like, ugh. So I'd say around 9 o'clock, I said, screw this. I'm freezing cold. I got the chills. I got the shivers bad. I'm going to bed. And literally like a little old lady with a hot water bottle, I just wrapped that thing up under my neck and sweated it out. And by the middle of the night, I was just, Jesus, why did I do this? What the hell is going on with me? My body was just going into just this state of horrible, insane, just blah. And I'm thinking, do I have to go to the doctor? Am I going to be okay? And I'm like, nah, I've felt worse. You know, I can deal with this. Then my heart starts racing, and I'm like, okay, now I might be having a heart attack. This fucking sucks, right? So I'm doing all this deep breathing, just kind of breathe in, breathe out, you know, trying to get my moment of zen to calm my pulse down, because it was bad. And then came on the body aches. By the time I woke up Saturday morning, I was like, oh my God, where's the truck that hit me? I'm not kidding you. It felt like I stepped out in front of a truck and got hit. I literally did not want to get out of bed to use the bathroom, and I'm like, I got to get out of bed. It's horrible. Just even the few steps to the bathroom was insanely painful. My legs were sore. My fucking neck was just like, you know, felt like whiplash. So I went back to bed. I think you pounded on my door and said, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, give me some ice water. I'm fucking dying. And that was about it. That's all I remember from Saturday. It's just,
I asked him if he needed something to drink or eat. I said, want some water? He said, no, water. I'm going to get up and get some water. I said, no, I'll get it for you. I said, you want something to eat? He's like, no food. I said, chicken pot pie. No food. So.
Well, and again, I wasn't worried about a nauseous feeling, but, you know, the damn digestive system was just a wreck, but I wasn't going to puke. I just felt like it probably wasn't a good idea to eat anything. So by Sunday, I actually woke up, felt a little bit better, just pretty much vegged on the couch watching Netflix all day, and wasn't sure when I went to bed last night. I'm like, God damn, I hope I'm better Monday because I got work to do. And things kind of tapered off today, and I guess a little bit extra caffeine in the system, and I started downing Gatorades too, because not to sound gross, but I was pissing orange. And when you're pissing orange, you know that you're a little low on your electrolytes. Brawndo! Drink more Brawndo! Gives you electrolytes. But, the funny thing too, so those of you know I'm kind of a fat ass. I weighed myself a week ago, right? And I weighed 262. Well, I jumped on the scale Sunday. My weight said 251, and I don't think I'd been dieting enough in the last week to lose that kind of weight. That was probably all water weight. Because, man, I was a sweaty mess. It was like being in a steam bath. It was crazy. So if we got to do these vaccines every 6 months to keep our bodies from getting this COVID, fuck it, just get the COVID, man. I don't know. If it keeps me immune for a year, it might be worth it to be sick for a day here and there, but I don't know. They say, oh, your immune system's working. That's just, it's training your immune system. Okay. If you trust the science, that's what's happening. If you don't trust the science, then they're just marking our bodies with a special DNA marker so they know that fucking criminal, he had the Pfizer virus. We know he's, we know who he is now because we can guarantee from his DNA that he's a Pfizer guy. So it weeds out all you Moderna guys.
I don't know what it is.
Oh,
I don't know what it is.
Like James Brown for a minute there.
I feel like it's it hasn't been thoroughly tested, and these vaccines that have been around for years and years and years, we hear about side effects from them. So,
right.
I just would rather wait to do anything. And like Craig was saying, what I'm hearing is they're saying that the vaccine keeps you safe for up to 6 months or 6 months. They're saying 6 months. And all I can think is what they're trying to program people and to get ready for is you got to get this vaccine every 6 months or every year at least. Maybe they're starting off with 6 months, and then they think, oh, well, no, we've decided that it's actually a year that you're safe for, so they can make it seem like, oh, see, you got a better break, now you don't have to do it for a whole year. Oh, that does make it a lot easier, doesn't it? Fuck you.
Well, here's an interesting point. The old man, he got the Moderna shot. My dad, he's 76. And he said the same thing. The first dose didn't affect him at all. And then he said the second dose knocked him on his ass for the day, but he didn't have the kind of symptoms I had. Now, I have another relative who works for one of these biogenetic companies here in Seattle that does blood, biogenetic work or whatever. And she made some comment on social media that she got the J&J one and done shot. And I don't know specifically the differences, but she hasn't mentioned having any reaction to that yet. So I don't know. I guess do your research. If you feel like you need to get it, the way I feel about it, don't go get it if you're worried. My mom's not getting it. She is absolutely opposed.
Yeah, Craig asked her. She signs all her cards to me, by the way. My birthday card, my Christmas card. She signs them, Mom, so you know. She's a very sweet lady. Craig asked her, she said, are you going to get the vaccine? And she said, fuck no.
Yeah. I only get exposed to people when I go to the grocery store. I'm not around people ever. I'm like, that's quite a bit if you go to the grocery store, but whatever. That's cool. So, anyway, I think these guys are about to put me back in my cell for a while because I still have to go through more observation in a Wuhan.
All right, well, thanks for letting everybody know what you experienced, Craig. That was good. You need to come on camera more when it's not such a serious topic.
Yeah, well, maybe I can about to wear my dragon shirt.
Maybe.
Maybe they say you know the reason that men have a dragon, that Chinese men have a dragon tattooed on their chest?
Uh-huh.
It's so all the ladies can fight over them, okay? Well, so one day there was these two women in China, and they were talking about when they grew up, how they wanted to marry a man with two dragons on his chest. And she's like, why would you want two? She goes, well, two dragon must be better than one. And the third younger girl comes up and she says, you ladies are crazy. She says, I don't want my husband to have two dragon on his chest. When we're done, he'd be dragging on the floor. Okay, I'm here all night, folks. The number's 805 Mox News. I'll answer when you call, because even though I'm in my cell in Wuhan, I still got the live line. So have a good night. I am out of here. Peace.
All right. Thanks, Craig. Let's see. So, I'd still like to hear what somebody thinks about the allergy medication thing. Again, this is $1 billion industry, especially during the pollen season. So I don't know where all the allergy medication advertisements went. I mean, again, if you watch any television that has commercials in it, you'll see every other commercial break during the pollen season is reminding you that it's the pollen season, and if you need some help with that, we have the best pill in town. So I don't understand how that could be happening. It doesn't make any sense in my brain. Usually, I guess there's a lot of things that don't make sense in my brain, but that just doesn't make sense to me at all. So I'd really love to talk to somebody about it. Also, I was watching a movie the other day. I believe it's a Japanese movie, and Craig was talking about dragons and tattoos and stuff. And there was like 5 people, and they have samurai swords, right? And they were surrounded by like 50 people, and they would take off their shirts, right, when they were about to do battle, and you could see there was like 5 people in a row, right, and the one on this side, on this end, was a chick, right, and they all had samurai swords, and it's this dumping rain, and you could see as they took their shirts off, you could see this tattoo on their back, right, and it was like this person had a section of the dragon, and this person had a section of the dragon, and this person had a section of the dragon, you know, feet and claws and tail and everything, and this person had a section of the dragon, and this person had the head of the dragon. And they would line up back, you know, side to side, and they'd move like this, and you could see the dragon moving. It was really sick, man. I can't remember what the name of that movie was. I'm generally not into the Japanese films so much, but it was really cool looking, you know. And then the next scene, you see the person, the girl, the chick who had the dragon head on her tattoo. That means you're the boss, and she's in prison, right? And there's like 20 girls in this prison cell, you know, and they're starting to push her around and say, "Who the fuck are you?" and da 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 da. And she takes and lowers the back of her prison outfit, and there's the head of the dragon on it, and I'll like step back 5 feet. Sorry. It was interesting movie. Again, I don't care for the Japanese storytelling nearly as much as I like the Chinese storytelling. But it was very interesting. I love the tattoo. All right, so is no one going to talk to me about the allergy medication thing? Are you guys seeing allergy medication commercials on television? You understand what I'm saying about the pollen season? How people start to sneeze and get watery eyes, and sometimes you cough, right? Is there some reason that medication isn't being advertised over the top like it always is during pollen season? Can anybody explain that to me? Because I'd really like to know. Because I think the reason is because they want you to forget that it's pollen season and that people sneeze during pollen season. They want you to forget about that so much that they're willing to risk billions of dollars in sales. So much so that even maybe you forget there's a pollen season. But, you know, more so that the people who don't suffer from the pollen forget that it exists. Because anybody who really suffers from pollen, I mean, I literally some days will sneeze 100 times. Like, I'm not doing that now, but, you know, many seasons in the past I've done that. Again, this is really late pollen season. I don't understand exactly why. But probably because of the cold winter. But the thing is again, billion-dollar industry, no advertising, it's always there. So I don't think it's the people who have the pollen allergies, the hay fever and such. I don't think it's those people they're trying to get to forget. I think it's everybody else. They want you to forget that people sneeze during the pollen season. And then when you hear someone sneezing, you go, oh my God, I got the COVID. Everybody run, right? You get what I'm saying? I can't imagine any other reason why there's not, you know, allergy medication advertisements on television during the pollen season. Again, I could be wrong. Like Jackie Cat says, you don't see commercials that much. I probably fast forward through most of the commercials because I record everything, and if I'm not watching streaming stuff that doesn't have commercials, mostly I fast forward through the commercials. So maybe I'm missing it. That's what I'm saying, is that if you're seeing the allergy commercials, I'd love to know about it. But I'm not seeing them. And it's something that's, again, stood out in my head just recently. Like in the last 10 days, I'm like, because I started sneezing, and probably the last 5 days I started sneezing, which I knew was going to happen. It's not. If I stay inside, it's not a big deal. If I go outside, it can be a little rough. So I actually didn't walk the dogs last Monday, I think. I don't know if it was Monday or Friday or what it was. I didn't walk the dogs. I think it might have been Friday, because the pollen was too bad. I couldn't even get away from the pollen inside. But it's and that's probably what started me thinking about it. Was I was sneezing and I was thinking, all right, here it comes. Because again, it's late for me. I start around February. By the end of March, it's all done. Usually shorter than that. So that's what started me thinking about this, and I'm just wondering if anybody's seeing something similar, because I'd really like to have your thoughts on why there is no allergy medication advertisements on television when this is obviously something that's gone on for years and years and years, obviously a multi-billion-dollar business, especially during the pollen season, because other people have their allergies year-round. Right, but the pollen season probably triples the amount of people that are having the need to have some kind of an allergy pill, and I don't think they would miss out on that money intentionally, unless maybe they were making a whole bunch more money somewhere else, or something to that effect. Because these people in the pharmaceutical industry love nothing more than money, including your health, which is what I've always said, is that there's a problem with for-profit medicine. And the problem is they have an alternative motive. They have the motive to make money. So, and what the for-profit medical industrial complex needs more than anything is sick people, right? So I think there's this huge conflict of interest with the for-profit medicine, and I think everyone should address it that way. It's not so much that everyone needs free health care, which they do, because health care, people's health is a matter of national security. The healthier your people are in your nation, the more secure your nation is. Although it doesn't seem like that's what they're about anymore. So, it's not that I want people to get medicinal treatment for free. It's that I don't want there to be an alternative motive from the people that are giving that medicinal treatment. The people who need there to be sick people, the pharmaceutical industry, they need there to be sick people, just like the CIA needs there to be terrorists. The Pentagon needs there to be wars. The police there needs to be criminals and crime, right? All this, there seems to be alternative motives for all these people, right? And I think that we should be able to address that on a bigger scale. And I think we could, if we could just recognize the common enemy, which is Washington, D.C. and its ever-expanding police state. Did I play the video about okay. So the guy who supposedly took his car and ran through the fencing or whatever and rammed a couple of Hill police officers, he said, this is a quote from a local news clip, I believe it's a local news clip, and according to them, he said the number one, and this is the thing, he's all anti-government, this is the hype you hear. I'm very anti-government. Oh, he's talking shit about the FBI. Fuck the FBI. It's a criminal organization that should be immediately defunded and disbanded. Am I not being clear about that? Fuck the FBI. Read my lips. That being said, this guy also was making statements like that the number one enemy of black people is the government, is the U.S. government. And I agree with him, except for I'd really like to expand on that and say the number one enemy of the working class and the people living below the poverty line, people, the poor, the working class and the poorer people, the number one enemy of them is the United States government. Am I not making myself clear? See it, YouTube censors? That's the facts, okay? And I've said it a million times. And this guy says, again, the number one enemy of black people, okay? But we have to get beyond the things that divide us and recognize the common enemy, the number one enemy to us all. Not Russia, not China, not Iran, this government and their ever-expanding police state. So I'm going to play that clip for you now, and I'll be back momentarily.
Let's give you a live look now at the U.S. Capitol, where flags are flying at half staff after a Capitol police officer was killed, another one hurt by a man who rammed a barricade. He also had a knife at the time, according to police. Tonight, we're learning that man, 25-year-old Noah Green, described himself as a follower of the Nation of Islam on social media. He expressed hostility toward the federal government, calling the government as a, quote, the number one enemy of black people. William Bill Evans, the officer who was killed, was an 18-year veteran. A friend of his says the loss is immeasurable.
It is, incredibly sad and just surreal, to know that Billy died, serving our country, doing something that he loved so much.
The other officer involved is expected to be okay. Congress not in session today because of the Easter holiday tomorrow.
After that attack, our own state patrol increased security around our state capitol in Olympia, all in response to what happened in D.C. Troopers are blocking drivers from accessing the Capitol building and its surroundings until further notice. WSP says there's no specific threat right now and calls the increased security a precaution.
We don't have to get beyond the things that divide us, okay? That's what I'm saying about this thing about the number one enemy of black people, right? Which is what it said in that clip, that this guy thought the number one enemy of black people is the U.S. government, right? We don't have to get beyond our divisions. We just have to all recognize the common enemy. And then we can come together to defeat the common enemy because we have a bigger goal than our divisions. And again, there's no reason for us to be buying into the division of men and women, the division of gay and straight, the division of black and white, the division of Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives. That's all bullshit. I mean, not the black and white thing. But the fact that somehow we're separate and we should be angry at each other and we should be divided, they are programming us that way. So that we feel like we can't recognize a common enemy because you and I are not the same. You and I are different. You and I don't agree on this and that and this. So how can we possibly agree on the common enemy? Well, because it's obvious who the common enemy is. And it's obvious that we'll never be able to defeat it unless we join forces. And that should be far more important than anything that might divide us. Either stand with the police state or you stand on the side of freedom. Okay? Your choice. I should play another video. Is that what you're saying? I don't hear anyone calling. Is that what you're saying? Play another video. Just play the fucking video! You want to see the one about Satan shoes? How about this? About censorship and how prudish the world is becoming, America is becoming. I don't know really what's happening in Europe or other places where they always seem less prudish than America, but in Palm Springs, one of the hippest places in the world, they're censoring a Marilyn Monroe statue because apparently her skirt goes a little too high for the comfort of the nanny state, or a bunch of Karens who want to be like, oh my God, someone think of the children, right? So I thought you guys might want to see that. Gee, just how high Marilyn's skirt goes. And by the way, this statue has been there for decades. And now all of a sudden these fucking Karens, these fucking virtue signalers, these fucking people, these prudes who want to act like somehow they should have control of everything, tell you what's PC and what's not. You know, that's not what the land of freedom is about. And again, this statue's been here for decades. So who the fuck are you? Right? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, a 26-foot tall Marilyn Monroe statue is causing a stir and a rift in Palm Springs, California. So here it is. It was there years ago, but it's scheduled to come back to be near an art museum. Now, some people are fighting it. One of the issues is how far the dress goes up in the back. Oh.
They've been showing some pictures of how you might come out of the museum and just be looking at her butt. It's just, you know, it's just not right.
This is the part she played in the 7-Year Itch. And I mean, compared to what the kids see on television today, I don't see anything wrong with this statue.
Oh, this is entertaining, isn't it? Okay, one of my favorite shots is like the worker just like right under, whatever. Right there, just putting up a statue. A judge is going to decide whether to relocate the statue at a hearing next week.
Right? You see what I'm saying? What the hell is wrong with these people? I mean, is America more conservative now than it was 30 years ago when that statue was put up? Are we taking away more and more freedom? Is that what the plan is now? Hello, caller. Hello.
Hello. Hi. It's Psyops.
What's up, G?
We've spoken before. I was tuning into your show here tonight, and sorry, my little puppy's having some breathing problems all of a sudden. And I see I'm worried about some kind of requirements myself as I want to travel. So,
yeah, I hear you. I think that it seems to be getting worse and worse. Like, and you know what else I heard today is that apparently the airlines are no longer like putting a middle seat between people, you know, when they're flying, and they're saying, oh, they can't do it anymore because, you know, there's just too much demand, which is bullshit. You know, they can pace the demand exactly how they want. What it is, it's about money and the facts that it looks like, you know, the shit's not nearly as contagious, if it even exists, as they're trying to tell us.
No, you know what? You want to know something? I can give my own opinions, or I can tell you just things I've seen recently in the last week. I don't even know if it was a real clip.
We're having a little trouble hearing you. Or I don't know if you need. Okay, that's better.
I saw a clip, and it was from I think it was from like a South Park kind of cartoon. And it was talking about making a joke about sun. It's all yours. There's only a 99% chance that we're going to live. You know, the human race only has a 99% or 98.4% chance of living through this sun. You know, when I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm an ex-soldier, and I could care less about this virus because I think in my own placebo effect imagination, I think I got Captain America's super soldier blood, and it's a freaking virus. I'm going to eat it and spit it out like my breakfast.
I hear you. And by the way, I think that the survival of the human race is the chances are much less than 98%. So, you know. But it has nothing to do with the virus. That has nothing to do with the virus.
What do you mean? Please tell me what you mean.
I mean, we basically live in a chemical spill. We're quickly polluting every single drop of fresh water, poisoning the seas, poisoning everywhere, and it's not getting any better with all this wokeness everywhere. It just gets worse and worse. There's this giant continent of plastic floating out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It would be the easiest thing to start cleaning that up, but it's not on anybody's priority list anywhere in the fucking world. They just let it sit out there.
Oh yeah, and then if you're in a place like I am, somebody else dirties up the place and then charges you a carbon tax to to fix it. Or
Yeah, right. I hear
Yeah.
what you're saying.
I'm thinking that I got some other interpretations, maybe of some things. I think we're in a lot of trouble. I think that if I could play Psyops Revere, the Redcoats are coming back. The Nazis are going to come back. It's coming again. And they used us all, the computers, the phones, and they've gotten into everybody, into people's heads. I took the name Psyops Agent because everybody's being psychologically manipulated in one giant perception management game. And I think that, like you were saying about it's done on purpose. Somebody's pissing all over the planet and raping the crap out of it because they intend on achieving life extension and artificial intelligence. And once they kind of start snapping on board parts, we become obsolete. And they're just going to wipe us out. We've been used so that someone else could acquire all the technology to make themselves immortal and to turn into, like, I don't know, upgraded versions of humanity. And there's a 1% difference, like Neil deGrasse Tyson said, between us and the chimps, and a 1% increase. They won't care about us like ants.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. They don't
I
give
really
a shit.
think it's a
Obviously, they don't give a shit about us at all.
Yeah, George Carlin said that they don't give a fuck about you, and that's what I see. I perceive things maybe as I'm getting older, maybe because I've been triggered to start buying survival gear and stuff because I can smell something coming. And yeah, people are in a daze. These people on TV don't care about anyone. The people, the audience consists of like teen boys with their whatever, Christina Aguilera, Miley Cyrus, or Madonna, and or Lady Gaga, and the girls with their Backstreet Boys and Take That and everything. It's all fantasy, you know. And I wear Superman shirts on my video, but the point is suspension of disbelief. Everybody lives in a fantasy world from a TV set or this hearsay news crap, and they have no perception of reality. They can't go outside and survive. If you shut things down, they wouldn't live a week. The squirrels are doing fine. They don't pay taxes for their freaking acorns. The birds are okay. But humans dead within a week. Shut off the power and stop the trucks from moving, and they'll be fighting each other for a roll of toilet paper. And I don't want to be around civilians as a former soldier. I do not want to be where I am, especially. All I got's a bicycle, a mountain bike, and I got a cart for my bike to carry my crap on it. And all I own is survival gear, like tent, tarps, titanium spoon that I yap about all the time because I'm in love with the thing, or whatever. I don't know. I don't think there's much of a future. I've been studying all kinds of stuff because I'm retired, and I've been listening to some of the smartest people on the planet. I've heard every conspiracy theory since 2006, since YouTube started. I was there, and I don't know what I'm saying now. There's so much information I got, and I found out about a lawyer's document here in Canada, and for 4 months, 2 days after I found out about it, some like weirdos showed up at this motel I'm at, and they harassed the crap out of me for 4 months. And I believe 100% it was because I opened my mouth about this lawyer's document that I found, and some person overheard it, who happened to be maybe a social worker. I'm talking lower in case they can hear me because they move around. And I also had, when I was living in Toronto, I met a different type of social worker who gave me, I was talking about figuring out stuff years ago, and they gave me 2.4 gigabytes of occult books, and they told me that they were in some criminal cult, and they were working their way like Hail Hydra through the system, and I think they're here now. And they got so much control now that they're coming out of the woodwork slowly, and they're gaslighting the crap out of the planet. And you know, everything is classic. My country apparently was being ripped off by people. Someone, 23 counts of fraud they apparently might have gotten charged with, and they disappeared from the media, disappeared from everywhere, just gone. There was videos of them lying their face off, and I called them a pull-string toy, because every time somebody asked them a question, or where did the money go, we're helping the people, Canadian people from coast to coast to coast, pull the string, and they just keep repeating the same double talk. I'm amazed that the CIA website isn't giving them a double talk award. But they do that.
But the CIA is never
total
gonna
fascism.
the CIA is never gonna highlight people, for some kind of a lying thing, because
well, they did
because
on
then they out the fact that they're all lying all the time, and that you can't trust some of the people. If you can't trust some of the people, then you can't trust all the people.
I'm a firm believer that you can't trust anyone now. That trust no one poster is ringing clear to me for that X-Files guy years ago.
Well, I don't like to think of my neighbors like that, but but the government and the media, the government and the media, I wouldn't trust any media source, and I wouldn't trust a damn thing the government says.
You want to know? I woke up a couple weeks ago and I made a phone call to a news agency and I just said, "You're a cult," and they went, "Yeah," and I went, "Yeah," because I just woke up and I realized there was 5 things that I could Google, and you will, in my entire lifetime, have never even done close. You can't go to the library. I met a guy. I was having lunch with a woman she said something that came off a military file, and I met this perfect stranger one day, and I'm like, "No, this ain't right. Something's wrong here." And then all of a sudden they say something that nobody was supposed to say. Came from a military file, and I went, "Nice to meet you, agent. Let's go to lunch." I went to lunch with this woman, started talking about all the stuff I was learning and figuring out, and then some guy got up from across this little restaurant in a small town. He came across the restaurant, just didn't even look at me, sat down right next to me at the table, right next to me, and he looked at her and went, "I've been with," and I won't say it, but "I've been with some intelligence service for 35 years, and I don't even know half of what this guy knows." And my reply was, "What, you can't go to the library? You can't use Google? Seriously, what kind of an operation are you? Get smart with the, chaos versus control." So I think they've been used. I think the CIA and the KGB were tools with whatever, and there's another group that's been running the whole show for a couple hundred years before America even started. Because I got some language code that apparently was created in the 14th century, and everybody's been getting shafted since around then. And so when my country, turns out there's a section of the Constitution that says we don't even have one. And then I started phoning around asking questions. Turns out there's some truth to all this stuff. And
I hear
the sovereign or anything like this. I'm just a guy that goes to the library and I try to find facts. I have to base my research upon facts that can be proven and triplicate and demonstrated to other people, and they can check them themselves and repeat the experiment. And it's on my honor and the honor of 1 million dead soldiers before me. And it's not about me. It's about It's about what's the right answer and the wrong answer. I didn't mean right and wrong as a moral choice. I mean, can you scientifically, mathematically prove whether the planet's flat or an oblate spheroid, or can you shut the fuck up, put every penny you own on it, and piss off once and for all? Yeah, because we're in a bad situation here. This is the end of the Type 0 civilization transforming to a Type 1. This is the Kardashev scale where we're finished. This is the point. It's the religious psychos that have they're running some kind of Church of Scientology cult. The news media is just a cult. They're appealing. Pay attention to they appeal to every audience member. That's why those whatever secret society cults, you have to worship a god, but they don't say which one, because the news appeals to every peasant that believes in any god. They don't pick one. They appeal to the audience. They are all fake, 100%. It took them 20 years of my fucking life, and then some show called Big Bang Theory to start telling people that the Earth was 4.5 billion years old, and I knew it was not 6,000 years old when I was 8. And I had to wait for the news to figure out if it was 6,000 or 4.5 billion. So that right there tells me that they're full of shit. They couldn't go look it up because they were appealing to their audience. And the stupider the audience is, the more superstitious, the more they believe in fairies and ghosts and that aliens built the pyramid, all the better. Just like the Air Force guy said to me, when the civilians are thinking about Area 51 and the UFOs, we're off doing other shit. We love it. And I don't like that as a former soldier. I get it, but I don't like it, especially when I'm stuck with a bunch of people that think that ghosts and are doing it, or the demons are manipulating the world, or it's the aliens. Like, why can't it just be dirty freaking pedophile cult psychos pulling off some gaslighting routine on the whole human race, doing the pharaoh crap, playing pharaoh? the false sense of authority. They have no authority. They're no better than you. Some of them are weaker than me. You know, like that's not evolution. If I could smack the crap out of Alexander the Great, then he ain't such a great guy, right? If I'm the dominant monkey, why am I listening to some little goof with like fake shoulder pads on, pretending it's a real man? If I met real martial arts instructors and real men and women that were warriors, then why the fuck am I listening to jackass car salesmen that are no better than Herb Tarlick?
Yeah, I used to love to get really high and watch Get Smart and think that that's how the CIA ran. You know, I think, imagine if the CIA ran just like this.
I think they're just
very
used
funny.
as tools. And that's how
chance.
I think they're used as tools, and that's how I'm going to call them the Druidic Mariner Saturn worshipping pedophile cult, but the secret government. I think they made sure that maybe they didn't make that show, but to their perception, that's what they look like. That's what the CIA looks like, because they're fumbling around pretending like this guy, 35 years with an intelligence service. I don't know what you know. Well, where have you been? What use is your service then? Like, holy crap, I'm just some guy that went to the library and used Google and watched I watched Columbo when I was a kid, a few lessons from Mr. Spock, and I tried to put more pieces together than apparently every operation on the planet can figure out, besides, you know, people like you and myself and a few others, leftover strays, through all the gurus that came and went.
I think that might have been my dad's favorite TV show. What was he said?
Agent 99.
No, not that one.
What's that one?
Yeah, that was Get Smart. You said something else though.
I don't know. I Dream of Gene.
No, that's not what you said. You didn't say.
No, I know. I'm sorry.
All right. It's good to hear from you. I got to have a break.
Okay.
Thanks a bunch for calling. I hope you're doing good where you at, and call back soon.
I'm trying.
We'll get through it. Just stay cool. We'll get through it.
I hope so.
Okay. We don't have any other choice, dude.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh yeah, and one final thing is, there was a nice thing up here. I didn't know where it came from. A preacher, a pastor, gave hell to some officers without a warrant that tried to break up his church service on the Easter weekend, and he gave them some good lip, telling them to get out. He doesn't know Nazis allowed, nothing. It was
wow, awesome.
I watched it today.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Up here. I thought it was, I didn't know where it was because he was a Polish pastor, and I thought it was somewhere else. And I showed it to a girl. She asked me where it was. I scrolled down and said in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Yeah, I have to go look at the Canadian news and see if they got anything on that. The CBC.
Yeah, take care.
All right, talk to you soon.
Yeah,
bye.
That's all.
Okay, so I have a video about, the Satan shoes. I know you guys want to see the video about Satan shoes. I want to play something else about the vaccine passport. One of the things I was wondering about these ladies, I'm wondering how much preparation they do, because they have this like amazing rapport, and so when you're really good at talking with another person, you don't want to do a whole lot of prep, because then when you're saying the things that you want to say, it's like spontaneous, and whoa, where'd that come from, and like a real reaction as opposed to something fake. So I wonder how much these ladies actually practice before they do their little routine. But I thought you might enjoy this. I'm sure you should enjoy it. And again, this is about the vaccine passport, and I thought they brought up some really, really good points. Be right back.
You know what, Silk? I don't know if everybody has heard of this here, but Biden and his regime, they're trying to push these vaccine passports, girl.
Oh my God.
Now, are you all woke yet? Because see, people have been talking about this, and the people that talk about this kind of thing, that was talking about it like maybe months ago, they called them conspiracy theories.
You're talking about people. I'm talking about Diamond and Silk. You're talking about this a year ago.
Well, here's the deal. It wouldn't surprise me if Biden wasn't in bed with Big Pharma.
Come on.
Okay, now that's just a personal opinion that I have.
Yes.
Okay, so in case the left media take that and run with it. So, I just want people to understand that all summer long, You had black people marching in the streets.
Yes.
You have black people out here thinking everything is racist, everybody is against them,
Yes.
and white people are against them.
Uh-huh.
And now you have a president who happens to be white, who's taking y'all back to the days of slavery.
Come on.
Yeah, because when I think about a passport, I'm thinking about our ancestors that used to have a note to go from one plantation to the other.
That's
now, as far as I know, this is the United States of America, not a communist China. And what they're implementing sounds like some mess that they do in China.
That's right.
Okay, and I'm so disturbed by this.
It's the same type of social credit system that China has. Okay? Because when you look at this is a violation of my constitutional rights.
That's
okay?
right.
What about my rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness?
That's right.
How is it that you want me to have a piece of paper
come on.
to travel from one state to the next state, but you are okay with illegal aliens traveling from one country to this country?
Come on. It don't make no sense.
No, it do not.
Doesn't make any sense. And why are you trying to divide and conquer us? Because it's going to be the ones that's been vaccinated against the ones that haven't been vaccinated. And you cannot deny me my freedom because I don't choose to take something I don't want to choose to do.
But okay, now think about this. This is also a violation of the HIPAA law.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. And what about the Disability Act? And the equal protection and my private rights. So look, this is my privacy rights. Okay, that is being violated here. Okay, I shouldn't have to have my health records on some passport just to say I can buy a piece of bread.
Come on, that's right. And my thing is, why are you so interested in monitoring people's movements?
Think about this.
Come on.
People DNA is in a particular database. Who have access to that database with American DNA in?
Did you know, honey, Nazi Germany, people had to have papers over there? Yeah, this is getting out of hand. And I can't say we can depend on the United States Supreme Court. No. Because they may not come to our rescue. They more like the deep state Supreme Court now, as far as I'm concerned. And I think what they're doing, this kind of thing is dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't need a passport to travel from one state to the other.
No.
And I'm going to tell you, if the stores get involved with this and you start denying people their freedoms and their liberties to even go buy food, this is crimes against humanity, and I hope you go out of business.
So ask yourself this question.
Come on.
Why do the left continue to push this mess down the throats of Americans?
Because Americans continue to allow it.
And can continue to swallow it.
Yeah, 15 days to slow the spread, and now look at this here. All of our freedoms are gone.
It's time for us to utilize our gag reflex. You know, when you gag on something and you're choking on, it's time to choke it up and reject all of this mess that the left continue to push.
That's right. This is nothing but a way to divide our country.
Yes.
And speaking of divide, the left is so upset about Georgia voting integrity rules, SB.
I think those ladies are pretty entertaining. I think, you know how I started finding it is Michelle Malkin has a show on that channel, and I set the DVR to record Michelle Malkin's show, and I put like an extra half an hour and like a half an hour late, and they came on after her, so I was like, whoa, who are these guys? Because I don't know who they are. I mean, I've probably seen them on Fox once or twice, but it's not like I know who they are. And I started listening to what they were saying, and I thought they were pretty darn funny, you know. So and they're touching bases that nobody else is talking about, you know, about the violation of constitutional rights, talking about you know, a lot of things that other people don't seem to talk about. I understand that they were kicked off of YouTube. So, and again, probably for talking about things that nobody else talks about and that you're not allowed to talk about. Because that's what the way the social media works these days. There's no freedom of speech. If we say you're not allowed to talk about that, you're not allowed to talk about that. Again, I'd really like to talk about why there are no Claritin commercials on TV. please, if you have an answer or anything to say about that, I'd like to know. Because this is a multi-billion-dollar industry, especially during the pollen season. And every other pollen season I can remember, there was Claritin commercials every other commercial break, or some kind of allergy medication every other commercial break. And now all of a sudden I don't see those things anywhere, and I find it suspicious, odd. It's very odd to me. Again, there's billions of dollars at stake here, and for whatever reason, it's not happening. You know, they're not into that. Oh, 12 Monkeys is a great movie. I always like the part where Bruce Willis is crying because he hears, like, what's that song? I see fields of blue, or whatever it is. It's a really good movie. And I think it might be one of Brad Pitt's best movies because he is, Bruce Willis basically always plays the same character. But Brad Pitt is a real actor who gets into characters. It gets into the head of characters and stuff. And I think it might be one of his best movies. I really like Snatch, too, also. I think those are probably my two favorite movies of his. Let's see. So, we don't have any callers. I've taken 2 dabs already, and I have a couple videos left. I came here to talk with phone callers, take fat dabs, and play videos. Since we have no callers, and I've already taken 2 fat dabs, I'm going to go ahead and play the Satan Shoes video because I know you guys are waiting for the Satan Shoes video. I only have 2 videos left. Oh, wait. I need to play the white privilege card here for a second because you guys know how I like playing the white privilege card. So,
Trump won the election. Among the suspects' possessions, this is real, a white privilege card. I want you to take a look at this. It's a fake white privilege credit card. Subtitle, Trump's everything. The card holder, scot-free with 2 T's. Scot-free is actually spelled with 1 T, but, 2 T's on that card. That one piece of evidence, an insight into the man's state of mind, that he can get away with anything because of his skin color. His lawyer saying this to CNN. This was a guy...
I love playing the white privilege card. I'm going to play the white privilege card again and again and again, so you guys know. I'm down to 2 videos. So if you guys want to call, this is your chance. I have a video about Capitol Hill fencing not working. I was talking about that. I'm going to save the Satan Shoes video for last, and we'll play the video about Capitol Hill fencing not working, which I don't know if he's saying that the Capitol Hill fencing needs to come down because it's really not doing its job, or if they're saying that they need better security around the Capitol Hill. I didn't really get the gist of where it was coming from. But it is not working. There's no way it's going to work. It's the People's House. And right now, the People's House, the Congress, the Senate, the White House, looks like a fucking banana republic with military surrounding it. And that should not make anyone feel secure that's on this side of that fencing. So we're clear.
A live look now at the U.S. Capitol. Right now, D.C. and the nation still reeling after police say a knife-wielding man drove into a barricade and killed a Capitol police officer and hurt another one last week. And now a Republican senator says permanent fencing around the Capitol should come down. Today, Missouri's Roy Blunt was on ABC's This Week and says the fencing just doesn't do its job.
I think the permanent fencing should come down. I don't think it does the job. In fact, the fencing was right there when the car drove through.
She's the bitch, right?
So I'm down to 1 video. If you guys want to call, now is the chance. otherwise, I have the Satan Shoes video. I'd love to have a discussion about, the allergy thing. I do not understand how this allergy thing, that no one else is noticing it. I mean, I notice a lot of things that a lot of people don't seem to notice. But I don't believe that. I think that there are a lot of people who notice it. Just, I don't know. I'm not around them. I don't get to have discussions with them, a lot of things that I notice. But fortunately, I have you guys. So I can kind of bounce ideas off of you. That's the idea here. If you guys are having allergy commercials in your neighborhood, Canada, Australia, I don't care where you're at. It's not that I don't care where you're at. It's that wherever you're from, I'd really like to know if you're. I'm gonna continue to talk about this all week long. So because until I get to talk to somebody about it who can try and make sense out of it with me. All right, Satan Shoes. Last video. Now's your chance to call.
People who bought Lil Nas X's Satan shoe may never get them because a judge has blocked the company from being able to fulfill the orders. So, Melissa, the reaction from Lil Nas X is fascinating, as is from Mischief.
Yeah, I mean, this story just keeps developing this week, right? So rapidly. Good morning, Robin. Both Lil Nas X and MSDHF, also known as Mischief, the maker of the Satan shoes, say that Nike is infringing upon their freedom of expression. A New York court handed down a temporary restraining order on Wednesday, preventing all 666 pairs of the sneakers from shipping. But Mischief says the shoes are already out for delivery. Well, the company also pointed out that Nike did not block its Jesus version of the same shoe. That part, right?
Wow.
Well, Nike contends the stunt has done damage to its brand. Last night, Lil Nas X tweeted that he was upset by the decision and vowed that change would be coming. Of course, we're going to bring whatever happens next to you right here on Morning Express. So some good news for movie theaters. Godzilla vs. Kong has
I know you guys are loving the Satan Shoes story, so I wanted to make sure and keep you updated on it. I actually wanted to play that video for you last week, but somehow it got misplaced. So I'm glad I found it today, and I hope that you enjoyed seeing it, because I know it's a very interesting story. I knew that Nike, I couldn't believe that Nike was involved with this in the first place, so, which apparently they're saying they're not. I think that it is a free speech issue, but I think that probably Nike has a really big branding issue, kind of lawsuit thing, so, I mean, defamation of, brand and all that. I'm out of videos, people. Hello, caller.
Max, it's Jackie Cat.
Hi, Jackie.
I'm not going to help you straighten up nothing, but I'm really curious about something.
Yes.
So if you see commercials on TV when you gather your clips and stuff,
Uh-huh.
during the holiday time, you know how they used to have all of those commercials for DayQuil and NyQuil and...
Sure, that's the cold and flu season. That's when they do all those kind of commercials.
Did they have those commercials at holiday time?
I don't remember. I mean, NyQuil is pretty much a 24. I mean, they've always kind of pushed the NyQuil and the DayQuil at the same time. I mean, and in the cold and flu season especially, but I think they do it kind of a year round. Like, oh yeah, I can't sleep. Take some NyQuil, So I haven't seen those commercials for a while. I'm not sure what happened during the Christmas season, honestly. I was having kind of a little bit of a rough time then, but I know what's going on now, and I don't see any NyQuil commercials. I don't see any allergy medication commercials at all.
I might have to actually watch something with commercials tomorrow, just to see. Just curious.
Yeah, like I said, you're right. I do see commercials like while I'm watching while I'm doing the show. I have the BBC on, in case there's something interesting that I should talk about or whatever. But I do see lots of commercials, and I just noticed, like I said, I started sneezing about 5 days ago. I'm not doing a lot. I don't think I sneezed once this show, but I immediately thought pollen. Honestly, the first thing that you think is, oh my God, I got the Rona, because it's just been so programmed into us, Yeah. But then I thought I sneezed twice, and it was like, oh no, I got fucking allergies. I got the pollen. I've had the hay fever since I was little, so.
Did you ever get allergy shots?
No, I don't remember ever getting shots for allergies.
I wonder if that actually does anything.
I don't know.
I know lots of people who used to get allergy shots. I don't know.
I know
Is that a scientific thing? I don't know.
I know the Claritin helps. I know the Sudafed helps. If I don't take something in the past, not last year for some reason, but in the past I would sneeze like 100 times a day, and that's pretty rough. It's rough on your nose. It's rough. It's really rough on your abdomen. Like my abdomen would hurt so bad for like a week because I just 100 sneezes a day. It just is rough, man. I'm telling you. It's like doing 100 crunches. Oh.
Is there a good way to work out?
I guess. I would prefer not, though. How are you doing, Shug?
I'm hanging in. It was a beautiful day, walking down in the forest today, and started the day off. It was just lovely.
Got to go for a forest walk, huh?
I got to go for a forest walk. I just love that.
Yeah. Where's this place where me and the dogs go? It's a private school, and they have an cross country track. And it's all through the woods and the trails and everything, trees everywhere. Me and the dogs go there on the weekend. But this was Easter, so we got to go there all week long. Except for today. Today we didn't go because Rufus had his chiropractor's appointment today, so we had to go and take care of that, and that took a couple hours. It seems to be helping a little bit.
That's something.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, honey, I'm going to go. I'm so pooped out. But I just wanted to say hi, and, I can't help you figure nothing out with that, but I just thought I'd comment.
It's always good to hear from you. I love your voice.
Always good to hear from you, too.
Yeah.
Good night, people. Oh, and by the way, Wilco, if you're out there lurking somewhere, I really miss you.
Did you talk to him?
I did not.
Huh. Well, you should.
Talk to me offline.
You should, because tell him we all miss him, because the people in the chat are like saying, no Wilco, no peace, so.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Throw me back to Craig if you can.
I don't know how to do that.
No worries.
just call him back. There's no callers, so yeah. Okay, Shug. It's good to hear from you.
Mwah.
Okay, talk to you soon. That's our buddy Jackie Cat. She's just the sweetest in the world. I guess we're all out of videos. I played the Satan Shoes video. Oh, wait, I have one more video. If you guys want to call, I'll give you one more chance. This video is like less than 2 minutes.
Sometimes life can be a little overwhelming. Sometimes the weight of the world can be too much to bear. Sometimes you need to stop worrying and take a deep breath. Sometimes you need cannabis. Introducing Brightside, high-quality cannabis delivered right to your door. Brightside offers an extensive menu of strains and products to meet your needs. Choose the experience you want, and we'll send you the dankest herb, the real sticky icky. Some top-shelf marijuana. If you like what we send you, keep the whole jar. We'll even include some nugs for you to blaze. As part of Discovery, you'll get to try new strains and products. Side effects may include euphoria, increased appetite, uncontrollable giggles, elevated sensitivity to musical dopeness, and reduced anxiety. Tetrahydrocannabinol may also induce feelings of existential well-being and relentless optimism. With a Brightside subscription, you can get it once a month, once a week, or whenever you want, all at a price you'll like. And yes, this is a real company. your doctor if cannabis is right for you. It probably is. Keep it Brightside.
Oh man, don't you wish you could enjoy your juice box that much in the park, huh? Because that girl is really grooving on that juice box. I'm sorry, the wizard. You're the wizard. Know who I am? The wizard. So I don't know if we have any more callers or not. But I will figure that out momentarily. And if you want to call, the numbers right there on the screen. Otherwise, do you have a caller? Nope. Okay. Otherwise, we do this every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which means we'll be back tomorrow. Same Mox time, same Mox channel. And I hope you're here because it's always better when you're here. It's like no Wilco, everybody's missing Wilco, so it's always better when you're here. And until then, stay cool because one of these days, this war is going to end. Stay cool till then.
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. moxnews.com.
I mean, this coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. I wish the coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they
Okay, so I just want to say also that if you guys have, the Tron today hit 15 cents, 15.5 cents. If you guys, I told you guys, started telling you guys about the Tron when it was 4.7 cents. So you would have more than tripled your money. If you listen to the stoner hippie guy, oh yeah, crazy stoner hippie Trons, yeah, I'm sure he saw that on the big screen when he was a teenager. Trons, all about the Trons. You guys remember that, right? Don't forget it.